gold. Question: what are the signs of good effort makers? Answer: those who are true effort makers follow Srimad at every step. Gold. Those who constantly follow Srimad are the ones to claim a high status. Why does Baba tell you children to follow Srimad constantly? It's a different answer today. Very lovely answer. Because God is the true beloved and all others are his lovers. Om Shanti. Both old and new children have understood the meaning of Om Shanti. You have come to know that all of us souls are children of the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Soul is the highest on high and the beloved who is loved by all. The significance of knowledge and devotion has been explained to you children. Knowledge means the day, the golden and silver ages. Devotion means the night, the copper and iron ages. This applies to Bharat. You do not have that much connection with other religions. You are the ones who experience 84 births. It is you, people of Bharat, who come first. Golden Age, Silver Age, only Bharat. The cycle of 84 births is for you, people of Bharat. No one can say that those of the Islamic or Buddhist religion take 84 births. No. It is only the people of Bharat who take 84 births. Bharat is an imperishable land. It is never destroyed, whereas all other lands are destroyed. Bharat is the highest on high land. It is imperishable. It is only the land of Bharat that becomes heaven. No other land becomes heaven. It has been explained to you children that only Bharat existed in the new world of heaven, the golden age. It was Bharat that was called heaven. Can I blow out this? They take 84 births. Finally, all become the residents of hell. Coming down from the golden age, Bharat, the people of Bharat, but other lands also. Later, all other lands will be destroyed and only Bharat will remain. There is limitless praise of the land of Bharat. In the same way, the praise of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, and the praise of the Gita are also limitless. But only that of the real Gita. The Father is now teaching you Raj Yoga. This is the most auspicious confluence age of the Gita. Bharat will then become the most elevated of all. That original deity religion doesn't exist now. That kingdom doesn't exist now, and that age doesn't exist now. Baba has explained that the mistake of putting Krishna's name in the Gita is fixed in the drama. When the path of devotion begins, there will first be the Gita. The Gita and all the scriptures, etc., are now to finish. Only the deity religion will remain. A divine way of life, a deity way of living. It is not that the Gita, the Bhagavad, etc., will remain with it. No. You receive the reward. You receive salvation. And so there is no need for scriptures, etc. There are no gurus or scriptures in the Golden Age. At this time, there are innumerable gurus who teach devotion. There is only one spiritual father whose praise is limitless, who grants you salvation. He is called the World Almighty Authority. It is mostly the residents of Bharat who make the mistake of saying that he is Antaryami, the one who knows what is going inside each one. The Father says, I don't need to know what is going on inside everyone. My duty is to purify the impure. I am not the one who needs to know the secrets of your heart. This false praise is given on the path of devotion. I am called into the impure world. I only come once when the old world has to be made new. I think it was a couple of days ago, maybe just yesterday even, that Baba explaining the time of his coming and the only period of his coming. So Baba's emphasizing that again. I come only once when the old world has to be made new. Human beings don't know that this world becomes old from new, and that from old it again becomes new. Everything passes through the stages of Sattva, Raju, Tamo, a concept that exists only in the philosophy of Bharat, that everything passes through Sattva, Raju, Tamo stages. Human beings are the same. They are at first Sattva Pradhan children, and then they go through the stages of adolescence and maturity and old age. That is, they go through the Raju and Tamo stages. When their bodies become old, they shed them and become children. Brahma Baba would often look at the picture in a history hall that was on the side of where the brothers sit. So Lakshmi Narayana, and at the bottom of that, Radhe Krishna. And so he would often point there and say, soon I'll become this. So the world also changes from new to old. You children know that Bharat was very elevated in the new world. The praise of Bharat is limitless. There are no other lands that are as wealthy, happy, or pure as Bharat was. The Sattva Pradhan world is now being established again. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar have been shown in the picture of the Trimurti, but no one understands the meaning of that. In fact, Trimurti Shiva should be said, not Trimurti Brahma. Sometimes they show the face of Brahma with 3 faces, sometimes with 4 faces, sometimes with multiple arms, or the memorial of Brahma being the father of humanity and many, many children. And the message that Shiv Baba gave through Brahma Baba reaching all the corners of the world. Who created Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar. It was Shiv Baba, the highest on high. It is said, salutations to the deity Brahma, salutations to the deity Vishnu, salutations to the great deity Shankar. We usually call him Mahadev, Dev, and Mahadev. And salutations to the Supreme Soul, Shiva. Therefore, he is the highest of all. He is the creator. It is sung that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, creates Brahmins through Brahma. They also receive their inheritance from the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. He himself sits here and teaches Brahmins. Because he is the Father as well as the Supreme Teacher. He sits here and explains how the cycle of the history and geography of the world turns. He alone is the knowledgeful one. It is not that he is Jani Jananhar, the one who needs to know everything. That too is a mistake. On the path of devotion, no one knows his occupation or his biography. So it becomes like worshipping dolls. In Calcutta, there is so much worship of those dolls, all the goddesses, the Devis. They worship them, feed them, and then sink them in the sea. Shiv Baba is the most beloved. The Father says, they also create an image of me out of clay, worship it, and then break it up. They make it in the morning and break it up in the evening. All the rituals of bhakti that are still prevalent, all of that is the path of devotion, the worship with blind faith. Human beings sing, you are worthy of worship and you are a worshipper. However, the Father says, I am ever worthy of worship. I simply come and make impure ones pure. I give you your fortune of a kingdom for 21 births. There is temporary happiness on the path of devotion. Sannyasis say, happiness is like the droppings of a crow. Sannyasis renounce their homes and families. That is limited renunciation. They are hatha yogis. They do not know God. They remember the Brahma element. The Brahma element is not God. There is only one incorporeal God, Shiva, who is the Father of all souls. I'm aware that there are many concepts that Baba's talking about that perhaps you're not so familiar with, but I'm sure that spending a little time with Sister Pratibha afterwards will give you an insight into why Baba's saying all of these things. I think everybody else is very familiar with all these concepts, right? So, the Brahma element is a place where we souls reside. Brahmand is a sweet home. We souls come from there to play our parts. The soul says, I shed a body and take another. It is the residents of Bharat who take 84 births. Those who have done the most devotion, everything has an account, will also take the most knowledge. The Father says, children, stay in your households, but follow Srimad. All of you souls are lovers of the one beloved, the Supreme Soul. You have continued to remember him since the Copper Age. Souls remember the Father at times of sorrow. A big difference between bhakti and gyan. In devotion, when there's sorrow, you return to God and remember God. And when you follow the path of knowledge, then it's with happiness that you remember the Father. And in fact, when there's sorrow, it's a state that you've forgotten all your gyan, that you're not remembering the basic essential truths of gyan. And so Baba's teaching us to remember God with happiness when we are happy. This is the land of sorrow. Souls are originally residents of the land of peace. They then enter the land of happiness and take 84 births. The meaning of Ham So, So Hum has also been explained. They say that each soul is the Supreme Soul and that the Supreme Soul is each soul. The Father now says, how can souls be the Supreme Soul? There is only the one Supreme Soul. All the rest are his children. Even sages and holy men give a wrong meaning of Hamso. The Father has now explained the meaning of Hamso, that which we were, that which we will be again. And so we were deities, we became warriors, merchants, and Shudras, and now we have become Brahmins in order to become deities again. This is the accurate meaning. The Father says, by following the dictates of Ravan, human beings have become so false. This is why it is said, Maya is false, the body is false, the world is false. You will not say this in the Golden Age. That is the land of truth. The most beautiful name for heaven, paradise, is actually Satyug, the age of truth. And so everything within that age filled with truth. There is no sign or trace of anything false there, whereas here, the total opposite, there is no trace of truth. If there is truth, it is like a pinch of salt in a sack of flour. Human beings with divine virtues exist in the Golden Age. Theirs is the deity religion. All other religions come later on. Then there is duality. The devilish kingdom of Ravan begins in the Copper Age. The kingdom of Ravan doesn't exist in the Golden Age. None of the 5 vices exist there, so they are completely viceless. Rama and Sita are called 14 degrees full. No one knows why Rama has been shown with the bow and arrow. It is not a question of physical violence. The battle inside. You are godly students. He is the Father, and because you are students, he is also your teacher. He grants you children salvation and then sends you to heaven. It's interesting, everybody thinks heaven is up there. But in fact, from Param Dham, when he's sending you, actually coming down to heaven. Therefore, he is also your Satguru. Here he is the Father, teacher, and Satguru, all 3. You have become his children. Therefore, You should have so much happiness. You children know that it is now the kingdom of Ravan. Ravan is the greatest enemy of Bharat. You children receive this knowledge from the knowledgeful Father. He is the Father, the ocean of knowledge and the ocean of bliss. You clouds, fill yourselves from the ocean of knowledge and go and shower knowledge on others. You are the Ganges, the rivers of knowledge. This praise applies to you. However, no one can become pure by bathing in the water of the Ganges. They think that they will become pure by bathing in dirty water. They give a lot of importance to spring water. All of that is the path of devotion. And in the golden and silver ages, there is no need for devotion. That is the completely viceless world. The Father says, children, I have now come to make you pure. Remember me for this one birth, become pure, and you will become Sato Pradhan. I am the purifier. Increase your pilgrimage of remembrance as much as possible. You don't need to say Shiv Baba through your mouth. It should be just as a lover remembers the beloved and the beloved remembers the lover. They remember each other. Once they have seen each other, that's it. Each one's intellect remembers the other. This concept of God, the beloved, comes in all the contemplative parts of religions. So the Sufis, the Catholics, the Bharatvasis, many, just remembering God as the beloved. So, on the path of devotion, you receive visions of whomever you remember or whomever you worship. However, all of that is temporary. You have been coming down by doing devotion. Death is now standing ahead of you. When I used to read this in early days, it had a different meaning. And today the people in Britain who belong to an organization called Extinction Rebellion, it's an actual organization that exists, and it spawned many other organizations also. Stop Oil, that was another one that came from Extinction Rebellion. But they can see that extinction of the human species is a very possible reality. And so they're rebelling against that. And so stop the oil, that's been. And they do intelligent people, good people, but they really feel that they have to do. There was an interview with them, and they were asked, why do you do such crazy things as glue yourself to the road or glue yourself to the railings of important buildings, etc.? And they said, because the government and people and industry isn't listening to us. And so we don't mind going to jail, but we want people to wake up and see what's going on. And have people woken up? Not yet. So Baba is saying, death is now standing ahead of you. Only after cries of distress will there be cries of victory. And in Bharat, all the signs of civil war. We've had a few civil wars already in Bharat, but another one, a big one. They touch the haystack and then draw back again. And so things can explode any moment. So I was saying, rivers of blood will flow in Bharat. All have now become Tamopradhan, and everyone now has to become Satopradhan. However, only those who became deities a cycle ago will become this. They will come and claim their full inheritance from the Father. If you did less devotion, you would not take the full knowledge, and you will claim a status number-wise among the subjects. Those who are good effort makers follow Srimad at every step and claim a good status. You need good manners too. You also have to imbibe divine virtues, which you will continue to have for 21 births. Effort in one birth, and those qualities continue for 21 births. Everyone now has devilish traits because the world is impure. The history and geography of the world has been explained to you children. At this time, the Father says, children, now make a lot of effort to have remembrance, and you will become real gold. Satyug is the golden age, real gold. Then in the silver age, silver alloy is added, and the degrees continue to decrease. Now, no degrees remain. The Father comes when it reaches this condition. This too is fixed in the drama. You are actors. You know that we have come here to play our parts. If actors don't know the beginning, middle, or end of their drama, they are senseless. The unlimited Father says, everyone has become so senseless. I now make you sensible and make you into diamonds. Then Ravan comes and makes you as worthless as shells. This old world is now to be destroyed. I take everyone home like a swarm of mosquitoes. Your aim and objective is in front of you. However, only when you become like the deities can you become residents of heaven. You BKs are making this effort. However, because the intellects of human beings are Tamopradhan, they do not understand that all of you are Brahma Kumars and Kumaris, and that there must also be Brahma, the father of the people. Brahmins are the top knot. Brahmins then become deities. They have removed Brahmins and Shiva from the variety form image. Just becomes the deity, then the rest. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, number-wise, according to your efforts, love, remembrance, and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada, the spiritual Father, says Namaste to the spiritual children. And the essence for dharana, you clouds must fill yourselves from the ocean of knowledge and then go and shower knowledge. Increase your pilgrimage of remembrance as much as possible. Become real gold by having remembrance. 2. Follow Srimad and imbibe good manners and divine virtues. in order to go to the land of truth, become very true and honest. Blessings. Very sweet blessing. May you wear the glasses of seeing specialities when coming into relationships and connection with one another, and so become a world transformer. While coming into relationship and connection with one another, see each one's specialities, adopt the vision of only seeing specialities. Nowadays, the fashion and compulsion are of wearing glasses. So wear glasses that only see specialities. Let nothing else be visible. For instance, when you wear red lens glasses, even something green would then appear red. So with the glasses of seeing specialities, you will not see any rubbish, but by seeing the lotus, will become an instrument for the task, the special task of world transformation. And the slogan, constantly stay away from the dust of thinking about others and looking at others, and you will become a valuable, flawless diamond. Do you read the specialities and the specialities? Dipti, the specialities are here also, because this is the things for practice. And okay, I'm with you. Okay, the point for self-respect. I am a bodiless and tapasvi soul. And the practice of yoga. I am a bodiless tapasvi soul. Devotees are specially remembering and worshipping the memorial of the tapasvi form. I, the tapasvi soul, with my third eye of knowledge, am finishing the tamopradhan nature in the world. And the point for churning. In order to adopt my bodiless and tapasvi form, what effort must I make? What should I pay attention to? And the avyak signal. Concentration and determination is the key to easy success. Where there is the power of concentration of many elevated souls in a collective form, along with success, greatness and clarity are also merged. The sign of determination is success. Where there is determination, it is not possible for there not to be success. So the focus is bodiless, tapasya, concentration. Let's have a few moments of silence, and then I'd like to take up some of the things. Jayanti. Four topics that are very, very important on the path of spirituality: knowing the self, knowing God, knowing karma philosophy, but also knowing time, where it is we are in the world cycle. And Baba's Murli takes up usually all four topics in every single Murli, every single day, so that we don't forget. And when we remember, we feel different, life becomes different, relationships are different, and the world is moving in a different direction. And when we forget, that's when I'm talking about not even through the cycle, but just on a day-to-day basis. When we forget, then the soul comes down, but also then everything else gets a little bit messy. And so when Baba comes, then the important thing is to remember that this is the time in which God is actually doing the work of recreation. And I, as Baba's helper, have to help in that task of recreation at all times. And so what is it that I'm doing with my thoughts, my words, my actions, my attitude? And so if I remember that I am part of that story of world transformation, then the things that Baba spoke about today really stay with me through the day. We get exposed to so many things all the time that as soon as you leave here and you're on your way back home or on your way to work, and thoughts can get distracted so easily. Even sitting here, you can get distracted. But certainly by the time you leave those doors, all the distractions begin in a big way. And so the reminder every single day. And today, Baba reminding us of the very sweet relationship of all the lovers and the one beloved. And if you feel that love from one, then that love becomes the magnet that pulls you to itself again and again. And so it's a sweet relationship that we can keep alive. The other relationships Baba also spoke about in a lot of detail: the father, the teacher, the Satguru, but especially today, the beloved. And so once you know who is Baba and you connect with him, when we first come to Baba, we don't see our own weaknesses. We don't know about the effort we need to make. We just experience God's love. And so the love is the magnet that pulls us and keeps us with Baba. And it's wonderful that Baba does it like that, because if Baba, first of all, made us aware of our weaknesses, we'd think it was impossible to move forward. But first, we recognize the love. And then with the power of love, we have the courage to face our own weaknesses and gradually go through the process of purification. So today, Baba reminding us that you, the soul, are the pure golden soul. And so come back to that memory and that awareness, and then all the alloy will gradually be removed. Daddy was fascinated. Daddy didn't used to go sightseeing so much, but at one time when she was in Joburg, and she heard that there were gold mines, she was very curious and wanted to go. And I think a number of you were here, and we took her off on an expedition. You know the place more than I do. And I think it took half a day going there, coming back, but she was fascinated to see how they were melting the gold and removing the alloy, and then the gold nugget was being created. She's a daughter of a jeweler in physical terms, but the daughter of that jeweler too. And so she enjoyed seeing that. I don't remember her having said in any other place. She always loved seeing the ocean. And so Port Elizabeth, she'd say, let's first go to the ocean. Durban, again, after a program, it would be late at night and everybody would think, now we have to go home. And she'd say, well, fine, you can go home, but take me to the ocean first. So the memories of Karachi. But that image of all the silver being removed and the pure gold being formed. And so stay in Baba's remembrance, and he knows what he's doing. There's a woman, there's a story I read a long time ago, that a woman is asking herself, well, because this image of becoming pure silver or pure gold comes in the Testament also. And so this woman was thinking, well, how is silver purified? There it talked about silver, Baba talks about gold. And she asked a jeweler, and the jeweler showed her the process. And she was fascinated to see how the process was happening. And what amazed her was that the jeweler knew exactly what temperature the heat should be. The jeweler knew exactly at what point to remove the metal from the fire. And so the jeweler knew. And it made her understand that the supreme jeweler also understands totally the process. He's done this process many, many times. We've been through the process many, many times, but we forget. And God doesn't forget. And so he knows exactly what's going on. It's interesting today, several times Baba said, I don't need to read anyone's mind. I don't need to know what's going on inside, because Kali Yuga, the Iron Age, everybody's in the same condition. So no need to think about anything else. But yet our experience is that when there's a direct personal relationship with God, God knows me and knows what I need and gives me what I need at the time that I need it. And so as we go through the process, we're realizing that yes, Baba's in charge. He knows what's going on. And I just simply have to follow the directions. If I keep following the directions, then the process of purification is definitely going to happen and I'll reach my destination. And so today, Baba, many different relationships, but especially the lover, the beloved, but also the one who comes at a specific time in human history to carry out his task. The rest of the time, it's the philosophy of karma that's at work. Golden age, silver age, the karma we've done, the reward. Copper age, iron age, the karma we are doing and the result. But at the confluence age now, God's direct intervention and God's direct relationship and God's direct support and help for each one, for those who want it. It's available for all, but number-wise, according to effort, number-wise as each one wishes. And out of all the times of year, it's January, the month of special blessings. I've often noticed that major things in the world happen in the month of January, December, January, around that time, but also major steps forward happen in terms of service in the month of January. And so the month of January this year began with the President of India coming to Madhuban and talking about her personal, very personal experiences. And that was amazing. But also the month of January for each one of us is a special time to take special blessings. And so it's beautiful that all of you have created a special service program in the month of January. And so definitely not just our determination bringing success, but also because the blessings of January are very much with us. So success on all levels. I'd like to invite Sister Judy and Sister Anka to come up and say hello.
Good morning. It's very nice to be with you. Nice to be in South Africa again, Johannesburg again. It's a really lovely place, an important place in the world. And it's summer, which is really very nice. And it's nice to have Sister Jayanti with you, no? Reading the Murli and interpreting those things, because when you hear them without interpretation, they can seem a bit mysterious, but she demystifies things in a nice way, doesn't she? That's her gift, one of her many gifts, but that's one of the gifts that people really appreciate. So I understand there'll be a program next week, right? Is that right? Public program? Monday. Sunday. Okay. That'll be a joy too.
I'm sure that everybody knows you.
All right. A little more time. I was worried about you going to work. No, don't you have to go to work? So my name is Judy. I live in Peace Village, which is the Brahma Kumaris Retreat Center north of New York City. It's on a mountain in the Catskill Mountains, and they just got 16 inches of snow. And luckily, I'm not there. So I've come to South Africa a few times. I'm thinking this is third or fourth, maybe, for the Call of the Time dialogues with Dadi Jayanti, who you all would have met and loved, like I love her, and with a project with the media called Images and Voices of Hope. And the intention of that project was always to inspire the media to use their incredible power to do good in the world, to create stories of opportunity. We created something called restorative narratives. The idea with this is that if you're in the news business, you have to tell a lot of bad stories, right? You can't pretend they're not happening. You have to tell them. And, but we were predicting that if that was all the news did, was tell one bad story after another bad story after another one, that people would become quite despondent. So we proposed an approach to storytelling called restorative narrative, in which you follow the arc of recovery. We did this after the massacre of children at the Newtown Elementary School in 2012. It was simply too painful for people. But the families do recover, and they create funds to support other children, and they support legislation against gun control, and they come back. People are resilient. So we said, follow that story. Follow the story of recovery. And So we've had a lot of success with that. And then we merged with another organization that was about peace. I suspect we're all in the same business, right? The peace business. So yeah, I think that's enough detail. I could go on, but I think that's sufficient. No? It's over to Alka.
Hello, Om Shanti. Good morning. As mentioned, my name is Alka, and when I was 9 years old, my mother and parents came across the Brahma Kumaris, and I'm now 52 years old. And for the last 28 years, I've been working and associated closely with Sister Jayanti and Daddy Janki. And when I was 19, I decided to become like the full moon and always wanted to help people and be not for one or two individuals, but to be for humanity. And it's my good fortune to be with Sister Jayanti in a different context as just Sister Jayanti is a good teacher and I want to be a good student now. And Daddy Janki was always a role model for me for being the best student that I've ever known. She would always be getting up for Amrit Vela, no matter what her body was like. She would always read the Murli before 12 o'clock, whatever the body was like. And so that inspiration is keeping me going, that timetable. And it's nice to be here. Thank you, Om Shanti. I'll just put this back.
Let's have that tapasya, the tapasya.
Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. So I think we hit a jackpot this year, didn't we? It's so absolutely wonderful to have you and Sister Judy and Alka Ben with us. So warm welcome on behalf of the family. And yes, I remember Daddy once sharing when we were buying the house in Cape Town, that whatever task you take up in January is always filled with blessings. So it really feels like Baba has something wonderful in store, not just for us as a country, but I feel for the continent as well. And that's why it's happening now. So welcome. So everyone, please come forward and take some tuli. And there were those on Zoom, so they're also acknowledging them.
प्रभु तेरे वतन का अनुभव जो कर लेता एक बार, प्रभु तेरे वतन का अनुभव जो कर लेता एक बार, उसका तो मन हो जाता है सभी हदों से पार। प्रभु तेरे वतन का अनुभव जो कर लेता एक बार, प्रभु तेरे वतन का अनुभव जो कर लेता एक बार। बिखर रहा प्रकाश यहाँ दिव्य लाल सुनहरा, बंधन मुक्त अवस्था का यहाँ हो रहा अनुभव गहरा। बिखर रहा प्रकाश यहाँ दिव्य लाल सुनहरा, बंधन मुक्त अवस्था का यहाँ हो रहा अनुभव गहरा। समा के तेरी किरणों में मिल रहा आनंद अपार, प्रभु तेरे वतन का अनुभव जो कर लेता एक बार, प्रभु तेरे वतन का अनुभव जो कर लेता एक बार। है कितनी मनमोहक यहाँ तुमसे मिलन की बेला, अतीन्द्रिय सुख का सागर ये तेरा परलोक सुहेला। है कितनी मनमोहक यहाँ तुमसे मिलन की बेला, अतीन्द्रिय सुख का सागर ये तेरा परलोक सुहेला। संपूर्ण स्वरूप की